Hello and welcome, my name is Ryan, I'm also known as Rm2kdev's. Welcome back to the video about the whiteboard. So the first thing I've done here is I've gone over the board and sanded it down. I'm using 400 and then 800 grit sandpaper. Once the sanding was done, I came back over it this time with a much larger foam roller. I started on the left side doing vertical strokes and blending the paint into a wet edge. So basically, I taped off the entire thing and I just started repainting it with the whiteboard paint. This time though, I was going up and down using a much larger roller, hopefully to get better coverage, and that seemed to work out quite well. I've gone over it a few times here. This probably took me about 10 minutes in total to get right, but once it was done, the surface had basically completely filled up all of those gaps where it was missing paint before. So there were a couple of areas where the paint had started to run. I came back with a small roller and just fixed those up. I think the reason it started to run was because I applied the paint too thick. Anyway, once that was done, about half an hour later when the paint had set, I came back over it with another coat, this time going in the opposite direction. So I painted horizontally across the board, a little bit of vertical in there, but mostly I did the entire board going horizontally this time. This seemed to feel like it came with a much better coating, and we'll see that in a second. Okay everyone, I just wanted to give you an update. This is probably an hour later of the paint drying, just to have a look. It's actually started to flatten out. So what I'm going to do today, tomorrow, and probably the third day after, I'll take some close-up photos, high resolution, using this camera. I mean, you can see me moving in the background, that's how reflective it's got, of what the whiteboard surface is looking at. But just for now, so you can have a look, I'm going to get right up close to it, as close as I can get. And focus, there we go. Just so you can see what sort of orange peel we've got. It definitely is orange peely, but it's much better than it was. I mean, I'll just focus down here. There we go. So as I move across the whiteboard surface, you can see the sort of, there we go. Sorry, I'm just going to keep focusing so you can see. I'll do this again today and tomorrow, but it is flattening out, and as you move further away from the surface, if I can focus again, the surface seems to get a lot nicer looking. Now I'm just gonna keep going back. Sorry, I'm just trying to get back as far as I can so you can have a look at the whole surface. From a distance, the surface looks perfectly acceptable, but yeah, as you get close up, you do get that orange peel effect. I will experiment with sanding. I've got another board that I did at the same time as I was doing this one, and I'll try and sand that one and see what that looks like. But we'll have a look and see how it goes. Okay, so I'm back. This is day 2. The whiteboard has cured now. You can actually touch it, and I just wanted to give you a quick view of the orange peel. So yes, it's still there. It has reduced a little bit. As far as I can tell, there are areas where it's worse than others, but the whole thing is completely touchable now. So that's quite nice. The other thing I've done is I've gone ahead and added in these little caps for the screws, which I was talking about earlier. I don't know if my camera's going to focus on that. There you go. Which I've added in, which I was talking about earlier, and I've added those in. So all in all, it makes it look just a little bit better. I should really be manual focusing this, but I can't be bothered. So yeah, if I just stand back a little bit, you can pretty much see the entire thing. There we go. Now it almost looks like it doesn't even have screws holding it to the wall, which is quite nice. And yeah, the overall effect is looking quite nice. It definitely looks like a whiteboard. I have tested it with a pen. It does work, but I don't want to draw on it completely until the 3 days is up. So I'm going to give it its full 3 days, and then we'll start drawing. So yeah, it has cured up quite nice. It's hard as a rock. I mean, probably on the inside it's still a bit soft, I suppose, so I don't want to go pushing in too hard, but it definitely has come along. Alright, I'm back. It is the third day. The whiteboard has had its time to settle. You can get a good idea of the remaining amount of orange peel down here. Now it's actually flattened up quite a lot more than it had in the first few days. There is still this orange peel effect here, however I've been writing on the board already and it doesn't seem to have any problems. So as far as markers go, let me get a whole pack of them, so I've got a whole bunch of different markers here so we can have a look and see exactly how it performs. So I'm just going to make some green, which seems to work the best. Then we can have some black. Let me get this in the camera here. Get some black, and we'll get blue and red as well. Blue, and then finally we'll get the red as well. Alright, so I'll give those just a second to dry onto the board so you can see what I'm about to show. And this is more or less just a example of how the colors work on the board. So what do we do first? I think we did green. So green, in my opinion, works absolutely amazingly. There's no ghosting, it just comes straight off. Black, however, is sometimes a bit of a problem. One pass over it still leaves a bit. Give it a good rub and then it's gone. There still is a tiny bit of ghosting there, but give it a good rub and it's completely gone. Blue, same deal, it's completely gone. And red, so red is probably the hardest. So black and red are probably the hardest colors to remove. That's not really a problem for me because I'm going to write in green and blue anyway most of the time. So yeah, the board itself has come up quite well. This has been a 6-day process now. So first of all, I'd given it one coat, and then I waited 2 or 3 days, and then I gave it another 3 layers of coating and waited another 2 or 3 days, and now we're here. So the board is working amazingly. I'm just going to say like, hello. You can see I can write on it absolutely fine. As far as the surface goes with this bit of orange peel that's on here, when you're writing with this, you don't feel it. You pretty much can't feel the bumps under the pen at all. So I'm just gonna, draw something like this. I don't know what this is, but you get the idea. You get the idea. It seems to work quite well, and I'm using the green because, like I said, it's the easiest to erase. So I think I'm just going to stick with the green color. Now the only other thing I did to make this work slightly better, which is a tip I found online, was to go over the board with, I just dropped my eraser, sorry, was to go over the board with a whiteboard cleaner before you use it. So after the 3 days, I basically just spritzed this onto the whole board and then just used my dry erase eraser to wipe it over the board and then let it dry. That seems to create some sort of protective barrier, I suppose, that helps the colors come off. Before I did this, before I sprayed over the board with this, I could not get the black to come off. Black would stay on the board. So if you want to get the blacks off, make sure you go over it with a whiteboard color remover. The other thing I'd recommend is buying a whiteboard kit that comes with the eraser, the cleaner, and the pens as well. So the one that I got was, I don't even know what this brand is, Stadler, I think that's the name. But basically it was the pens, I'm not sponsored by them by the way or anything like that, it was the pens, the eraser, and the cleaning solution all in one pack. And the reason why is just because they've obviously gone to the effort internally in their own company to make sure that the ink that they're using in the pen and the cleaning solution they're providing you with are going to work together well. One thing I found using a different brand of marker, which was, let me find them, which were, here we go, I'm back, sorry, which were the Bic Great Erase Grip Low Odor Dry Erase markers, and also the Artline 557 whiteboard marker, was that these were harder to remove using this chemical. So I presume each manufacturer has their own chemicals that they use. And just for a demonstration, I will make a mark with each of these pens. So this is the, what's this? This is the Artline. There we go, I'm gonna write AL. And this is the Bic. There we go. So I'm just going to give those a second to dry, and then we'll try and erase it. But it may work now because I've gone over the entire surface, like I said, with this whiteboard cleaning solution. But let's give it a quick shot. So you see the Bic was a little bit harder to remove, and the Artline is still leaving a tiny little dot there. It will come off, but you have to use a lot of effort. There we go, give that a clean. Excuse me. So yeah, definitely get a combination pack because the ink and the cleaner is going to help out. So anyway, excuse me. With all of that said, thank you for joining me for this 3-day project. I'll leave you a message here. Oops. Thanks for watching. There we go. Thanks for watching. That is the most messy handwriting ever. But anyway, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like. It's taken me 6 days to make this video, so I hope you did enjoy it. And also, you know, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And leave any comments and questions in the section below. If you have questions on how I made it, feel free to ask them in the comment section. If you want to know how it performs with a certain type of marker or things like that, if I have the, you know, if I have the marker, I can give it a shot and see if it works and let you know. So leave any comments, questions and feedback in the section below. Otherwise, I'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.